Hello. This video is going to be about finding study space on campus and is presented by the peer mentors and the student support services. So the first one we will talk about is for student support services. So within our own department, we have a place for you to study and use computers to print or even do classwork.
As you walk into MSR 245, you will see our computer lab and study lounge area. You will also see guidelines required as well as a check-in station. Do not enter the space without first checking in with the front desk. Throughout the spaces, you will find gloves, hand sanitizer, and cleaning supplies to ensure your stations are cleaned. We recommend wiping the station before you begin using the space, as well as after you use the space as a safety precaution. There are approximately 6 active computer lab stations due to COVID restrictions, but all 10 will become available when the restrictions have been lifted. There are 4 seating areas around the center table and a few lounge chairs. This space can be used to study, do homework, read your book, or work on other assignments. Additional hours, availability, and instructions on how to access the space will be posted on the webpage, as well as emailed to active participants once it becomes available.
Another way to go ahead and reserve a study space. So this way is through the library. So there are many ways that you can go to the library homepage, but I'll show you one that seems to be the easiest that I have been using. So you want to go ahead and go to the CSU Stan homepage. And unlike the previous one where for the student support services, you need to reserve it through Warrior Connect, this one will need to be done on the library's homepage. So what I like to do is go to the A through Z directory, go ahead and click on the L, and you should be able to scroll down and see the library. So go ahead and click the library, and this then takes you to the university library's homepage. Within the university library's homepage, you can go into the area that says make a reservation, and underneath there is reserve a study room. You can go ahead and click on the reserve a study room and look at the study room, what floor it is, and the room number, and how many people can fit in there. And it also shows you little icons. So this one would show that it is wheelchair accessible and there are outlets. And so what you can go ahead and see is if the time is in red, it means it's unavailable. And if the time is in green, it's available to be taken. So for the current day I am doing this, the earliest time to reserve is around 12. And we can see that there is some time taken up. But let's say we are going to reserve it for the 30th on a Tuesday. The Monday, November 22nd. I will go ahead and do a sample one, but once you find an available time, it should be the same. So I'm going to say I'm going to register on the second floor, room 279 from 2 p.m. and I'll need the room till 5 p.m. So 279. Oh, and then make sure that you note to reserve a study room, you can only reserve it for 120 minutes per day. So you can only reserve a room for 2 hours max for each day. So you can go ahead and delete your booking. So right here. So we're going to say we're going to reserve it from 2 to 4 p.m. Then we're going to go ahead and click on submit my time. And once you click submit your time, you will go ahead and put your name. So you would click your name, first, last name, your email address, your campus ID number, which all of these are required because of the asterisk, and then your academic status. So undergraduate student or graduate student, whichever you may be. And once you click the submit my booking, it should go ahead and reserve the room for you. More than likely, you should receive an email confirmation. And that would be something that you can see so that you know that the room is reserved for you. And then if you wanted to go ahead and check when you go back to making a study room appointment, you should see that the time that you selected should be marked as unavailable because you did book it. Additionally, on the university library's homepage, you can also make a reservation to have a seat with a computer workstation. So if you would like to do your Zoom class on a desktop, you can go ahead and reserve one on the library under the library's homepage under make a reservation. So we will click reserve a seat with a computer workstation. And so it has a couple of notes. Study seats are in room 258, so it'll be L258. and you book by row, so it's up to two students per row. And you can also borrow a webcam and a headset. So if we can go ahead and make a reservation, we will make one from 1 to 2. I believe again it would only be from it will only allow you to do an hour. So you would go ahead and click the times you want. So from 2, we'll do 1 to 3. You'll click submit times, and then you would go ahead and fill in your information. So your name, last name, email address, campus ID, and your academic status again. And you would go ahead and click submit my booking. And then you would have a seat with a computer, and you can also borrow the webcam and headsets if needed. Lastly, another place that you can go ahead and use to study is the University Student Center. So you can go ahead and put csustan.edu/sc instead of using the A through Z directory in order to get to the University Student Center. So this is how the building looks like in case you have not seen it yet. But once you enter through the building, there are many different entrances, but this building does have a lot of study spaces. There is no need to reserve it, but I did feel that this was a necessary one to bring up because there are a lot of study spaces within this building. So if you're having trouble either reserving in the library or maybe you don't want to reserve, the University Student Center is a good place to go. As soon as you walk in, there's a bunch of tables there, and if they're open, you can go ahead and just go take a seat. And on the second floor, again, there's more desks. There's also some sort of couches with like a little table in front, and there's just a bunch of spaces. And then on the first floor, in sort of like the middle of the building, excuse me, there's also a bunch of like little pods, and you don't need to reserve those either. You just go and find one that's open, and then go ahead and take a seat. And as soon as you walk in to the building through like the Warrior Girl, as you can see, Warrior Girl on the side, there's a front door. As soon as you walk in, there is sort of like a help desk. So if you do need any help either finding a space, or maybe you want to inquire more about like the little pods and how that goes, you can always ask those people that work there at the front desk for more help, and they should be able to help you. But typically within the University Student Center, again, it's not an appointment. You just go ahead and walk in, see a desk, go ahead and take it. So this is another place again for you to go ahead and look into if you need to find a studying space.